Good damn afternoon, Americans. Jericho Green here with you once again. Make sure you get over to jerichogreen.net. You will find exclusive videos only for my website. I put them there once a week. So if you want to know what I'm talking about, jerichogreen.net, $3.99 monthly sub. Now, if you're worried about the future, you are not the only one. Right now, there's an overwhelming surge of Americans who are stocking up on emergency food. Should you be one of them? Ask yourself, do you currently have enough food on hand to get you and your family through a prolonged crisis that lasts months? If not, you should strongly consider getting a 3-month emergency food kit from My Patriot Supply. They're the nation's #1 preparedness company, and they've served millions of American families. Right now, save $100 off their best-selling 3-month emergency food kit, which comes with breakfast, lunches, dinners, drinks, and snacks. This kit gives you over 2,000 calories a day, and the food stays fresh for up to 25 years in proper storage. If you don't act now, you might not secure these kits. Head over to preparewithjericho.com and claim your 3-month emergency food kit at this special price. You'll save $100 per kit, but you must act today while supplies last. That's preparewithjericho.com. So there's a couple things I want to talk about. One of them is good news. One of them, forget good, it's great news, especially if it can be, if it can be sustained for a prolonged period of time, like forever. And the other one, half good news, half not so good news. But we'll start with the half and half. So a few weeks back, I did a video, and I'm sure you know, about the AG, the Attorney General, the highest ranking law enforcement official in this great country, all the way up there at the top, DC. He took it upon himself to get the Federal Bureau of Investigation to investigate claims of violence against school board members by agitated parents. Well, damn, Jericho, how the hell does something like that get all the way to the Attorney General? I'll tell you. Because the teachers union, okay, my hand is the teachers unions, okay? And inside of my hand are 2 testicles, and these testicles are called the federal government. And when the teachers union goes like this, the federal government goes, okay, stop. What do you want? I'll do it. Just like, go. And they go, okay, thank you. What do you want? I want you, ow. Okay. I'll call them domestic terrorists. I'll get the FBI to investigate, please. All right, that's what I thought. That's what happens. So because the teachers' unions squeezed the testicles of these empty suits, they sent a letter to the White House claiming that something needs to be done about these rowdy-ass parents because they are domestic terrorists, and the Attorney General of the United States of America echoed those sentiments and called them domestic terrorists. A terrorist is someone who uses intimidation and violence against a civilian population to further their political gains, their political aspirations, their goals. That's what a terrorist is. So domestic only means home. So you're saying that kind of person is here at home. You're calling concerned parents terrorists. Now, once upon a time, I'm old enough to remember where that was a serious accusation to call someone a terrorist, especially when the federal government calls you one. That's serious. They got deep pockets, and they got big groups of people with guns. So that's a serious accusation to call parents something like that. Now, if these parents were just showing up on some bullshit that they made up in their mind, you might have something, but they're not. These parents are showing up because you're trying to indoctrinate their children and turn them into little deep V-neck, pink hair-having, Charmin soft handshake little robots that go and do wherever and whatever the government tells them. Little white kid, you're a racist. little kid lower on the color chart, little black kid, little brown kid, little yellow kid, you're victims. It's not your fault. These evil little white bastards are holding you down, and they're like that from birth. So as soon as and the doctor slaps them on the ass and their dad cuts their umbilical cord, they are racist. After they're swaddled, they give them little baby Klansman hoods, little baby clans. They're in the baby clan. And as soon as these little white babies are born, they put the little clan hat on them and start training them in the ways of white supremacists. That's what they want to tell you. And it's just as dangerous as telling those kids who are lower on the color chart that they are victims and can never change that because of said little baby racists. That is sick, disgusting, and evil. This is just a new version of segregation. This is just a new version of racism. This is like wearing some underwear all day, not wanting to wash them, and flipping them inside out. Same thing, just a different side. It's disgusting. So these parents, how dare they, show up to these meetings and give these teachers unions and teacher and school boards a piece of their mind. Now, of course, you have no right to put your hands on these teachers. No shit. But if you do, there are these little group of people called local law enforcement. I know they're insignificant because the federal government wants to come in and start throwing their weight around. But these petty little local law enforcement individuals and sheriff's departments and police departments, they can handle it. An assault call at a school board meeting is probably a welcome call in a lot of these places where these guys and girls are doing their police work. I'm sure some police officer in St. Louis somewhere would love to get can I get a whatever the code is for an assault at a school? What? It's just some parents getting crazy at a school board meeting? Shit, I'll take that call. Because I was just about to get a call where a 6-year-old is shot 17 times in her back at an apartment complex. I'd much rather have this fucking call. I think local law enforcement can handle being called to a school board meeting because 2 people in their 40s got in a scuffle. They got this. They don't need the federal government coming in, but they did. But now here is the half good part. The National School Board Association issued an apology the other day to these parents, to parents everywhere, I imagine. They didn't like the language in that letter that was sent. They did not like parents being called domestic terrorists. And they wanted us to know that parents are an integral part of your child's healthy development, whether it be education or otherwise. Well, thank you, National School Board Association, for your late-ass apology. Why did it take so long? Why didn't you come out the next day or within days? I'll give you a few days. Why didn't you come out sooner? Because that letter was sent September 29th. We're in late October. It's almost a month ago, and now you're issuing an apology. But whatever. We will take our victories where we can. Because when you're wading through this waist-deep human waste known as America 2021, you will take your victories where you can. Them apologizing is a start. Parents, keep the pressure. Pressure makes diamonds. You know what the squeaky wheel gets. No more CRT. Keep it up, parents. We're going to have to save this country. I've said it before. We will have to be the adults in the room. When you leave your 2 young kids in there to clean up the living room and you come back and they're fighting with each other, what about the living room? That's what's wrong with the government. They're fighting back and forth over some power that doesn't belong to them. So we have to come into the room and say, hey, you're forgetting about the living room. You're forgetting about the goal here. In this case, it would be us. You're forgetting about the goal. You're not keeping your eyes on the damn prize. Now, speaking of families and having to save this damn country, let's go down to Louisiana. Louisiana. And there's a group of men called Dads on Duty, and they go to this high school in Shreveport where over 20 students have been arrested in the last 3 days for fighting. I will put a link in the description box to the video. You can see the savagery yourself. It's like Mad Max beyond the fucking Thunderdome in there. These buildings are no longer a place for education. They are a place for fighting, violence, crime. It's a cultural thing. It's not a racial thing. That's bullshit. That's a cop-out. Just like when people say, oh, well, if you're poor, they're just committing crime. They're just selling dope to feed their family. They're just committing crimes to eat. Bullshit. Poverty is not an excuse for crime. There have been multiple studies done in groups of various races, and because they're poor, their crime rates are not high. Only one group, or a couple groups, seem to be pulling that shit. One, worst of all in America. It's culture. Find me the all-white school with footage like this. It does not exist. Because most of their families, 75% of their families are intact, mom and dad. Asians, that would be for them, 83% of their families have two parents in it, mom and dad. Nuclear family equals success, period. Not every time. It's not the magic bullet, but it's your best damn shot. But our culture as black folks in America is violence and materialism. That's what it is. That's what happens when you have no one in the home to teach you how to check your fucking emotions. That's why you have schools like, Something Wood High School. That's why you have tons of high schools full of these little fucking savages because their homes are all fucked up. So these group of dads in Shreveport decided enough is enough. And like in many other cases, when your dad comes into the room, stuff changes. People mellow out. It's like when you're going up in an airplane, you got to go like this because your ears are getting tight. You got to pop your ears. When your dad is upset and he comes in the room, there is a temperature change. There is a pressure change in the room. So these dads decided to come on campus and the change was immediate. They interview the kids. Oh, hey, the fight stopped. Kids started going to class. They didn't have to whoop nobody's ass. It was their presence and the tone that they set, the vibe that they're putting out. The vibe they're putting out is not today. Take your ass to class. They're not talking rude to the kids. As a matter of fact, it's a very pleasant interaction. All right, hey, don't be late for class now. All right, good to see you. All right, hey, nice outfit. Let's keep going. Get to class. Good job. Laughing, joking with the kids. But there's a sense of we're here for a reason and you need to do what you're told. And the joy that the kids had that they were interviewing, who were enjoying the fact that it wasn't a fight every 5 minutes, that they could possibly be accosted or see some kid get their head split open like this was a reenactment of Lean on Me. You ever seen Lean on Me? Look that shit up and watch the first 5 minutes of it. That's what this school looks like. 20-some kids in 3 days? That's 8 children a day. How many kids an hour? How long are you in school? That's like more than a kid an hour getting arrested at the school. That's like the same activity as a fucking drug corner. One of those open-air drug markets. No, not an open-air drug market, an American high school. But that is what happens when you get this toxic masculinity in the room. You think it would have the same effect if it was a bunch of mamas up in there? No. Dads have something special. Men have something special. So do women, but our special is different. That's why your dad's a little more gruff, a little more not as soft, a little harder than your mom. That's why it takes 2. Mom brings something, dad brings something. Obviously, these situations have too much mama in them. Too much nims, too many nims. Mama nim, auntie nim, grandmama nim. Too much. We had enough of that. Let's bring some testosterone in this bitch. In this high school. And look how it turned overnight. Oh, speaking of, let me tell y'all a quick story real quick. I'm trying to tell you a story. I just remember this. So last night, so the past couple days, my son has been learning that he could snap his fingers. So we've been working on that. And I snapped my fingers like, Daddy, how do you snap your fingers so hard? I said, well, when you get bigger, your fingers will get bigger, blah, blah, blah. So he's been, crazy about snapping. Everything snap, snap, snap. So last night, we're at the dinner table and I was working on words that rhyme with him. Cat, rat, bat, sat, all that. I didn't mean to rhyme that, all that at the end of back, all that. So that was, anyway, so we're working on words that rhyme. And so this spills over into brushing our teeth time. And so he brushes his teeth in the morning, I brush his teeth at night, just to get a real good clean before he goes to bed. So I'm getting ready to brush his teeth, and he says, Dad, watch, these words rhyme. Goat, coat, moat. I said, very good. Do you know what a moat is? He's like, yeah, people at the beach, and my son, keep in mind, he's 5.5, pretty smart little kid. He's like, yeah, people at the beach, when they build their sandcastles, they always put moats around them. So I explained to him that, back in medieval days, they would have moats around their castle. You put some alligators or some shit in there. And I was like, yeah, you put some alligators in there. If somebody falls in, that's it. He's like, yeah, Dad. He's like, somebody falls in there with an alligator, it's over like that. It was so funny. He was like, yeah, Dad, you fall in there, lights out. Any way he can work his little snapping into it, he does. That shit was hella funny. Anyway, let me get in here with nobody. My wife's gone. My kids are at school. I'm about to have some rare alone time. But you know how it goes. I try to be done with the left, but they just won't let me. Please subscribe. Hit that notification bell, because every time it rings, a piece of shit lefty cries. Utilize the Linktree link. Get your ass over to JerichoGreen.net. I am Jericho Green. Man, I'm out.